Okay, so we will start now. See, this is one surprise. So of course, a lot of you are doing our classes by Sunil sir. So this time we decided to launch a fast track course on CMR MMR. Of course, there will be offers for all those people who have already joined. All right, so this course will be taken by me. In that course, we shall try to solve all the previous questions, and I shall discuss only very, very important topics. And I guess minimum 75, 80, 90 questions out of 150 will be asked from those classes. Okay, so I'll tell about this more later. So these are the contents. Only 50. I'll take only 50 people for the class. Cannot take more than that because I will be giving personal mentorship. So these are the content which shall be included in the class. Okay, we shall discuss about it later. So in general safety, there are 7-8 topics. Today we are going to discuss about risk management. ठीक है, आज हम लोग रिस्क मैनेजमेंट के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. ये टॉपिक ऐसा टॉपिक है जिससे सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस जनरल सेफ्टी में पूछे जाते हैं. सारे क्वेश्चंस के अभी तक जो लास्ट 3 इयर्स के क्वेश्चंस अवेलेबल हैं, उन सारे क्वेश्चंस को मैंने अलग से सेपरेट किया, सबके सोल्यूशन मैं बना रहा हूँ. What I have seen that there are around 25 to 30 questions which are being repeated every year. मीन्स अगर आप वो 30-40 क्वेश्चंस रिस्क मैनेजमेंट के टोटल करके जाते हैं तो आप मान लीजिए कि out of those 30 questions at least 10 questions will be repeated in the final exam. That will be very very easy क्योंकि ऑलरेडी हम डिस्कस कर चुके होंगे, उन सारे टॉपिक्स के सारे जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स होंगे हम समझ चुके होंगे. ओके, सो दिस risk management topic is very important, very small topic but very 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 important topic. There have been hardly 30 questions which have been asked in the exam till now. So we shall discuss all those 30-35 questions. We shall discuss the associated content which are applicable to those questions, and then I believe you all will be able to answer those questions very easily after watching these slides and PPTs. Okay, so formally we have started. I have shared a WhatsApp group link in the chat box. You have to join that group because all these circulars and all the other content I am going to share in that WhatsApp group. Okay, so I am sharing. See, only 23 people have joined. Only 23 people have joined in that group. So if I share the notes, all right, I am sharing the notes. Okay, so you have to join the group. I am sharing the notes there. All right, I have sent some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files here. You got it? There are only 25 candidates. Okay, no problem. So you are not interested to take the notes, no issues. All right, so we shall start from here. So on the risk management topic, these have been very important circulars which have been issued by DGMS. You can see there has been one circular in 2002 regarding safety management system. Then in 2009 regarding safety study and safety audit. In 2011 regarding provisions for audit and review of safety management system. Then 2014 campaign on risk calculator. 2014 Take 5, that is personal risk assessment. And then 2016 safety management plan. Okay, so all these circulars are very very important, but these two circular, campaign on risk calculator and then Take 5, and of course this one, have been very very hot topic in DGMS exam. Every year questions are being asked from this topic, and very easy questions are of course asked. Okay, All right, so let's start with the first question. Before, okay, I am sharing the WhatsApp link again. Wait for a minute. So this is the question you can answer. We will start from this topic only. Which National Safety Conference on Safety in Mines recommended adopting risk management as a tool for development of appropriate health and safety management system in Indian mines? Is it 5th conference, 7th conference, 9th conference, 11th conference, and none of the options? I just want to tell you one thing here. I have used this code DQ1. D means DGMS asked, Q and 1. Okay, because I shall be sharing some questions which have not been asked in DGMS exam, but which are probable questions. For that, I shall use another code. So DQ1 means DGMS asked question number 1. Okay, a lot of people have answered. I hope you already have joined the WhatsApp group also, because I have shared the PPT there. Okay, I'm again sharing. I'll share. Don't worry, I'll share. Let's focus on the class first. Okay, I'll share, don't worry. So a lot of people have answered, and the question is, of course, the answer is of course C. So it was the 9th conference. It was the 9th conference on safety in mines, which recommended adopting risk management, which ये सारे टर्म्स को हम अभी आराम से एक एक करके डिस्कस करेंगे. रिस्क मैनेजमेंट को पूरा डिस्कस करेंगे. So it was the 9th conference safety in mines which recommended adopting risk management as a tool for what? For development of appropriate health and safety management system in Indian mines. Right? And it was further suggested that risk assessment exercise should follow an appropriate process. See, देखिए आपको पता है कि risk mining activity, mining as a profession is very risky due to its nature. You all are aware of that. आपको पता है mining inherently बहुत risky है. तो इसके लिए हर और प्लस बहुत फ्रैगमेंटेड भी है. माइंस आप समझो कि ऑलमोस्ट सारे पूरे स्ट्रेच ऑफ इंडिया में ईस्ट टू वेस्ट, नॉर्थ टू साउथ, कहीं ना कहीं माइंस है. लार्ज स्केल पे है, स्मॉल स्केल पे है. तो उन सारे माइंस में रिस्क हमेशा अवेलेबल है. तो सब लोग क्या था कि डीजीएमएस ने जब कोई फॉर्मल नोटिफिकेशन दिया, उसके पहले एवरीवन वाज फॉलोइंग रिस्क मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रेटजीज by their own. There was no standard guideline. They were framing the risk management strategies. They were following it. और इस कारण क्या होता था कि बहुत सारे लोग जिनके जो ज्यादा प्रोएक्टिव और डिलिजेंट है, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा रिस्क मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रेटजी बनाया. लेकिन वैसे माइंस जो बहुत ज्यादा डिलिजेंट नहीं है, जिनकी फाइनेंशियल पावर ज्यादा नहीं है, वो क्या करते थे कि रिस्क मैनेजमेंट बस दिखाने के लिए बनाते थे और इंप्लीमेंट नहीं हो पाता था. तो ऑफ कोर्स दैट लेड टू लॉट ऑफ एक्सीडेंट्स एंड दैट लेड टू death of many people working in the mines. So that is why 9th conference on safety in mines recommended that risk management should be a tool for development of appropriate health and safety management system in Indian mines. Okay, और इसके लिए उन्होंने बोला कि there should be one standard process which should be followed, ताकि ये पता चल पाए सबको, डीजीएमएस को, कि वो प्रोसेस हर जगह पे फॉलो हो रहा है. Okay, so this is very easy. So we shall discuss the first topic for today, that is risk management process. देखिए छोटा सा, एकदम बहुत ही छोटा सा ये डायग्राम है, और इस डायग्राम को अगर आपने समझ लिया तो ये पूरा टॉपिक जो रिस्क मैनेजमेंट कर रहे हैं ना, वो आप कंप्लीटली समझ जाओगे पूरे अच्छे से, बहुत इजी. तो मैंने क्या बोला? दिस इज अबाउट रिस्क मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस. So there are 4 parts involved in this risk management process. Number 1 is identify the risk. अभी व्हाट इज रिस्क अभी मैंने नहीं बताया, अभी जस्ट आगे बताऊं. बट you just see the whole management process. Number 1 is identifying the risk. Number 2 is assess the risk. Number 3 is control the risk. And number 4 is review controls. ठीक है. सो ये 4 टोटल स्टेप्स है किसी भी रिस्क मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस में. ये टोटल 4 स्टेप्स होते हैं किसी भी रिस्क मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस में. वेट अ मिनट. सबसे पहले मैं आपको ये छोटा सा एक डायग्राम दिखाना चाहता हूं. इसके बाद पीछे जो सारी चीजें हमने छोड़ी है ना, उसको पढ़ते हैं. सी आई हैव रिटन 2 वर्ड्स हियर, हजार्ड और रिस्क. ये बहुत ही सिंपल सा डायग्राम है जिसमें आप समझ सकते हैं कि हजार्ड और रिस्क के बीच में मेजर डिफरेंस क्या है, या हजार्ड और रिस्क होता क्या है. Hazard is something that can potentially cause harm. Suppose you are walking on the road. So are you having some hazard? Yes, you are having some hazard. क्या hazard है वो? Hazard ये है कि कोई तेज कार चलता हुआ है और आपको टक्कर मार दे, धक्का मार दे. अगर कोई कार में जा रहा है, क्या उसके पास hazard है? If a person is driving a car on the road, is he facing some kind of hazard? Yes, he is facing some kind of hazard. What kind of hazard? Hazard ये है कि कोई दूसरी गाड़ी आके उसको टक्कर मार. If he meets some accident, तो कोई भी potential cause of harm जो है, that is called hazard. So hazard is almost present everywhere. When you are sitting in home, are you having some hazard? Yes, you are having some hazard. What are those hazard? Number 1, earthquake आ जाए. Hazard है ना, that is possible. See, that is possible, that is a possibility. इसलिए मैं आपको डिफरेंस समझाना चाह रहा हूं कि हजार्ड और रिस्क क्या होता है. हजार्ड मतलब जो इनहेरेंटली प्रेजेंट है, पोटेंशियली आपको हार्म कॉज कर सकता है. मान लो घर के अंदर आप हो, घर के अंदर क्या हुआ कि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का कुछ मान लो फॉल्टी कनेक्शन हो गया, शॉक हो गया और इस तरह की चीजें हो गई. तो आपको कोई हार्म नहीं है लेकिन घर को हार्म हुआ, तो इसका मतलब दैट इज ऑल्सो ए हजार्ड. तो हजार्ड इज प्रेजेंट एवरीवेयर. बट व्हाट इज रिस्क? सी, you can see one dolphin here. So dolphin is a hazard. But what is risk? When you start swimming in the water where dolphin is present, then you are facing the risk. So risk is basically hazard plus exposure. This means risk is one step ahead of hazard. Okay, so hazard, when you are sitting in the home, then that is a hazard of earthquake. But suppose some earthquake comes in nearby areas, in some other country, some border areas, then that causes risk. Okay, on road, मैंने आपको भी एग्जांपल दिया था. रोड पे, जब आप रोड पे चल रहे हो तो आप हजार्ड, आपके पास हजार्ड है कि गाड़ी आपको आकर के टक्कर दे सकती है. सो दैट इज हजार्ड. बट व्हाट इज रिस्क? अगर आप रोड के अपोजिट साइड में चलना स्टार्ट कर दो, then you are facing risk. When you are walking on the right side of the road, means the left side of the road, which is designated for walking, then you are facing just hazard. But when you start walking on the wrong side of the road, where walking is not allowed, then you are facing the risk as well. So this is the basic difference between hazard and risk. I think, is it clear to all? What is the difference between hazard and risk? You can type in the chat box. Risk and hazard. So hazard is a smaller thing. One step ahead of hazard is risk. And this is a simple diagram which I have shown here. A dolphin is a hazard because that is already present in water. But when you start swimming in water where a dolphin is present, then you are facing the risk. Suppose mining activity की हम बात करें. Suppose we talk about mining. Okay, so when you are working in below ground mine, then you are facing the hazard. There are several kind of hazard. There are several kind of accidents which may happen. So you are facing the hazard. But suppose if you are not using the cap, suppose you are not using the helmet, then apart from facing hazard, you are at risk. You are at risk of some accident. Okay, so that is the basic difference between hazard and risk. So now we shall start from here. So we are talking about risk management process. So there are first steps involved in risk management process. You understood the risk, right? I already told you regarding hazard. I already told you regarding risk. So this is risk management process. There are 4 steps involved in the risk management process. Number 1 is identify risk. That is identification of risk. Number 2 is assess the risk. Number 3 is control the risk. And number 4 is review the controls. What are the controls which will help you, which will save you from all those kind of risk? Okay, so This is again a small diagram where you can see the whole risk management process. Number 1 is identify the risk. Number 2 is measure the risk. रिस्क बड़ा है या छोटा है, ये आपको मेजर करना पड़ेगा. अब स्मॉल, अब मान लो कि if you are walking on the wrong side of the road, then that is a risk, no doubt. But if you are walking on the middle of the road, then of course you are facing risk. But which risk is bigger? When you are walking on the middle of the road. So that is why you have to determine what is the weightage of that risk. Then number 3 is examine the solution. What is the solution for those risks? Then implement those solutions and obviously monitor results. Because अगर for example आप पढ़ रहे हो, example पढ़ रहे हो, आपने कोई एक बुक पढ़, क्लियर, तो अल्टीमेटली आपको अपने रिजल्ट को मॉनिटर करना पड़ेगा. If you are doing well after reading that book, then this means that you are on the right track. But suppose if you are reading a book and still you are not able to solve the questions, means the method which you are following to study is wrong and you have to recheck it. You have to rethink over your study. So that is why monitoring result is equally important in the risk management process. All right. So this is the question number 2, which have been asked in the DGMS exam. You can read the question and then answer. In an open cast mind, the following are steps of risk management: measure risk, implement the control, develop the control, hazard identification, and E is combination of all. Read the question and then answer. Okay, these are all questions which have already been asked in the DGMS exam. Okay, those who have joined just now, I already told that I have shared a WhatsApp group link in the chat box. You have to join that group because in that group I shall be sharing the notes, and of course that this PPT also. And almost all of you have shared. The same answer, that is E. So of course you have done excellent work. Well done. And believe me, these are the questions which are asked in DGMS exam. अगर आप पढ़ के नहीं जाओगे ना तो ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट लगेगा. हालांकि मैंने आपको लास्ट क्लास में एक ट्रिक बताई थी कि in almost all the questions, if you get the option all of these, तो अगर आप 10 क्वेश्चन में all of these टिक करके आते हो, you will be in positive marks. कम से कम आपके 7-8 सही होंगे, 1-2 गलत हो सकता है. तो 7-8 सही होंगे और 1-2 गलत हो सकता है. इसलिए अगर किसी DGMS के एग्जाम में, खासकर मैनेजमेंट में तो ये बहुत ज्यादा एप्लीकेबल था, बट जनरल सेफ्टी में भी ये एप्लीकेबल. ओके, एंड दिस इज द थर्ड क्वेश्चन व्हिच हैव बीन आस्क्ड इन DGMS एग्जाम. रिस्क असेसमेंट इज पॉसिबल बाय आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ हजार्ड्स. नन ऑफ द ऑप्शंस. बी इसलिए है क्योंकि सेम क्वेश्चन जैसे DGMS में पूछा था वैसे मैंने डाला है यहाँ पे. So identification of hazard, none of the option, estimating degree of hazard, measurement of hazard, and all the options. Risk assessment is possible by. And see, these easy questions have been asked in DGMS exam. Not tough. In fact, all the questions we shall discuss and you shall see that these are not very difficult questions. Okay, so answer is E. And again, all of you people have answered E. So well done and well done. See, now I already told you regarding hazard and risk. So after, जब भी हम पढ़ेंगे ना hazard, risk, पूरा ये जो हम आज क्लास करने वाले हैं, जब आप एग्जाम देने जाओ, उस डॉल्फिन वाले पिक्चर को आप एकदम भी मत भूलना. उस डॉल्फिन वाले पिक्चर को आप एकदम भी मत भूलना. Okay. So this is one important definition, and we are talking about hazard. I already told you that source of any potential harm, injury, or loss is called hazard. You see these are the signboards which are used to depict some kind of potential harm, injury, or loss is present. So these are the pictorial representation of any hazard that is existing. ओके, ये सारे डायग्राम में जो भी आप यहाँ पे छोटी छोटी चीजें डायग्राम देख रहे हैं, ये सारे डायग्राम किसी हजार्ड को शो करने के लिए यूज किया जाता है. ओके, जैसे ये हजार्ड है, रिस्क ऑफ फॉलिंग, जैसे ये है आपका रिस्क ऑफ स्लिपिंग, ओके, जैसे ये है दिस इज रिस्क ऑफ रेडियो एक्टिव वेस्ट, जैसे ये है कि कुछ ऊपर से फॉल हो सकता है, ये जैसे है इसका मतलब कोई चीज लोड हो रही है टूट करके गिर सकती है। तो जो जिसके बारे में भी आप कैन लगाते हो ना, अभी मैंने क्या बोला कि टूट कर गिर सकता है, ये रेडियो एक्टिव वेस्ट हो सकता है, तो ये फायर का सिंबल है, फायर हो सकता है। इसका मतलब है कि जहां पे भी आप यूज करते हैं कि ये कोई पार्टिकुलर इंसिडेंट हो सकता है, वेयर देयर इज पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ दैट इंसिडेंट बीइंग हैपनिंग, दैट इज कॉल्ड हजार्ड। ओके, सो दैट इज व्हाई लॉट ऑफ सिंबल्स आर यूज्ड व्हिच आर यूज्ड टू, जो लोगों को ये बताता है कि यहाँ पे किसी तरह का हजार्ड हो सकता है। ओके, नाउ व्हाट वाज रिस्क, मैंने बता दिया था आपको रिस्क। Hazard में there was only one dolphin, but in the risk there was one dolphin and you were swimming in the water. So what is the risk? Risk is the combination of two things. Risk is the combination of two things: the likelihood of a specific unwanted event and the potential consequence if it should occur. उसका likelihood, what is the risk? Risk मतलब कि उस hazard का likelihood कितना है कि वो hazard हो सकता है, और दूसरा कि अगर वो hazard हो गया तो उसका कंसिक्वेंस क्या होगा, उस हजार्ड के कारण किस तरह का लॉस हो सकता है। तो जब ये दोनों चीजों के बारे में हम बात करते हैं, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट ऑल दीज टू थिंग्स, देन दैट इज कॉल्ड रिस्क। ओके, अगेन आई हैव रिटन दैट डिफरेंस, हजार्ड इज समथिंग दैट हैज द पोटेंशियल टू कॉज हार्म। मैंने पिछली टाइम आपको लास्ट टाइम आपको बताया था ना, यू शैल ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन कीवर्ड्स इन एनी टॉपिक। इफ यू स्टार्ट फोकसिंग ऑन कीवर्ड, व्हाट बेनिफिट इट विल गिव यू? नंबर वन, कंटेंट जो आपको पढ़ना है दैट विल बिकम स्मॉल, आपको कम चीजें पढ़नी होगी, एंड द आउटपुट विच यू विल गेट विल बी हाई। सो रिस्क रिवार्ड रेशियो, आपका जो मेहनत करने का टाइम है और जो आपको अल्टीमेटली रिजल्ट मिलेगा, दैट विल बी एक्सपोनेंशियली हाई। सो दैट इज व्हाई दिस इज द करेक्ट वे टू रीड एनी टॉपिक, दैट यू हैव टू हाईलाइट द important, the very important keywords. So risk is the combination of likelihood of a specific unwanted event and the potential consequence if it should occur. Okay, so likelihood, what are two important words here? Likelihood and consequences. These are two very, very important keywords while defining risk. So always remember these two very important keywords. Number one is likelihood, number two is consequences. All right, a hazard is something that has the potential to cause harm, while risk is likelihood of harm taking place based on exposure to that hazard. And you already know that I have already told you, I have already shown you this very simple picture, simple diagram, which clearly reflects the difference between hazard and risk. ये छोटा सा डायग्राम आपके दिमाग में आज से ना, ये अपने दिमाग में आप घुसा लो। हजार्ड जैसे ही कभी आप देखना ना, तो आप डॉल्फिन याद करना, और रिस्क जब भी देखना तो डॉल्फिन और उसके बगल में अपनी स्विमिंग को याद करना। सो आप कभी भी हजार्ड और रिस्क के बारे में नहीं बोलेंगे, मैं बता दूं, कभी भी नहीं। 10 years 20 years down the line, if you remember this picture, then you shall remember this topic of hazard and risk. Last time आपको मैंने बताया था ना कि images are the best way to read any topic. Okay, all right, before joining you people, I have already told you that we shall start a small batch, only small batch of just 50 people, where I shall personally mentor, take live classes, use diagrams and use previous year questions, and focus only those topics which have been asked in DGMS exam और जो दोबारा पूछे जाएंगे। So, और मेरा इसलिए 50 people का भी कॉन्सेप्ट मेरा सिंपल है कि 50 लोग होंगे और 50 के 50 को हमें पास कराना। Of course, we work hard for all of our subscribers, आप देखते ही होंगे, but for these 50, no doubt we shall work definitely hard. So this is question number 4, which have been asked in DGMS exam. A risk is the ability of a substance, person, activity, or process to cause harm. The likelihood of a person, substance, activity to cause harm. The potential of a substance, person, activity cause harm. The prospect of substance, person, activity, or process to cause harm. Okay, so read the question and then answer it. I have, some people are asking for link, so I am giving the link again. First of all, you answer this question, then please join this WhatsApp group, because it is very easy to share the notes in the WhatsApp group, on Zoom and all the other things like like email, like website. It is very difficult to share the notes. Okay. All right. I have again posted the WhatsApp group link. So those who have not joined the WhatsApp group, okay, some people are asking question like motivation कैसे लाना है? That is a very valid question. You all people are working how to create motivation. और ठीक है, मैं आपको बढ़िया सा जवाब दूंगा इस क्वेश्चन के बारे में कि एग्जाम की प्रिपरेशन के दौरान मोटिवेटेड कैसे रहना है. How to keep yourself motivated while preparing for this exam. Okay, and this exam is no doubt a life-changing exam. You already aware of that. So answer is B. A risk is the likelihood of a substance, person, activity, or process to cause harm. Okay, and most of you people have answered B, so that is very good. Some people have answered C or E, so please understand this. Okay, we already defined ना. Risk is the, what is risk? Risk is the likelihood. बता रहा था ना अभी मैं कि there are two important keywords, likelihood and consequences, and C, DGMS have asked question on those two keywords only. The risk is likelihood. Okay, there is no consequence word used here, so of course the answer is B. Now again, this is the question number 5 which have been asked in the DGMS exam. Risk is the function of first and second, severity and accessibility, severity and probability, severity and hazard, harm and probability, none of the options. Okay, answer. I'll explain about this topic, but let's try. ताकि मैं भी देखूं what you people are answering. आंसर इज बी. अब मैं आपको एक छोटा सा ट्रिक बताने वाला हूँ. ठीक है, मैं देख रहा हूँ आई हैव सीन दैट लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव आंसर्ड डी सी. नाउ लिसन मी वेरी वेरी केयरफुली. आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर यू वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ट्रिक विथ यू. फॉर दोज हु हैव आंसर्ड डी और एनी other thing. 4 people have raised hand. No, wait for some time. I'll answer all the things. Okay, see, इस तरह questions में there is one trick which you should follow. In all these options, severity was common. So आपको क्या लगता है? What do you think? Severity आंसर में होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए? Severity आंसर में definitely होना चाहिए. तो इस none of these तो देखो कभी ऑप्शन जनरली होता नहीं. All of these जिस तरीके से आंसर होता है, none of these बहुत ही कम टाइम के लिए आंसर होता है. ठीक है, तो none of these को तो आप काट देना. क्योंकि 3 जगह पे you can see that severity have been used in 3 options. So definitely severity will be there. So जिन्होंने भी D option click किया है, please understand here that if severity have been used in 3 options, how can you simply eliminate the severity? You cannot simply eliminate the severity. So severity must be one option. Now, when you are sure that one option will be severity, what are the 2 other options? Second option, accessibility, probability, and hazard. So what I've already told you, that risk, there is always an element of probability attached with risk. मैंने क्या बताया था? When you are walking on the road, you might get hit by a car. So might, why I am using this word might? Because it represents probability. So that is why answer is B, severity and probability. How? अब ये टॉपिक मैंने आपको भी नहीं बताया ना, रिस्क इज द फंक्शन आपको नहीं बताया था, इसलिए मैंने ये क्वेश्चन आपको पहले दिया था. Why? Because my aim is not just to spoon feed you. My aim is to create a process of thinking in all of you. कि आपको इस तरह की चीजें, because see, DGMS का एग्जाम तो अनसर्टेन है, आपको पता है कुछ भी क्वेश्चन कभी भी आ सकता है. So that is why अगर आप सिर्फ पुरानी चीजों को पढ़ के जा रहे हैं, याद करके जा रहे हैं, तो ये गारंटी नहीं है you shall pass the exam. So that is why I always want to create a process of constructive thinking in all of it, कि आपको कुछ अलग तरीके से उसके बारे में सोचना है. तो यहाँ पे मैंने आपको एक ट्रिक बताया, पहले 2-3 ट्रिक मैं आपके साथ ऑलरेडी शेयर कर चुका हूँ. नंबर 1, ऑल ऑफ दीज ऑप्शन मोस्टली करेक्ट होता है, नन ऑफ द ऑप्शन मोस्टली रॉन्ग होता है. उसके बाद अभी मैंने आपको क्या बताया कि इफ समथिंग हैज बीन यूज्ड frequently in the option, then that will always be there in the answer. For example, severity have been used here, so I eliminated this one, I eliminated this one. Now severity will be an option. So accessibility, probability, and hazard, I've already told you that there is always an element of probability attached with the risk. So that is why answer is B. Okay, I have taken this picture from one of the DGMS circular. Okay, so you can just see this picture because one question have been asked based on this diagram. See, this is step 1 of something: initial hazard identification, risk assessment, and prioritize. So description of hazard: inundation is there, poor quality of slip material, all those things are there. Consequence is 5, probability is 10, exposure is 10. This is total risk. Total. We shall study all the formula in later part of the class. But for this, just see here that risk has been calculated using the multiplication of all these 3 numbers. 5 into 10 is 50, and then 50 into 10 is equal to 500. Okay, so total risk. What is the maximum number here? 500. Okay, this is the maximum number, 500, because no number is greater than 500. This again 500, 500, then 350, 350. So this number is declining. This number is declining, going downwards. All right, so maximum number is 500. Now see how beautifully DGMS have framed one question from this topic. As per DGMS technical circular number 5 or 2016, maximum risk score for any hazard is equal to, now give me the answer. What is the answer for this question? What can be the maximum risk score? What is risk score? We shall study. But इसलिए मैंने आपको डायग्राम दिखाया, छोटा सा डायग्राम दिखाया, where I have explained you that the maximum number for any risk which have been calculated using the multiplication of 3 factors is 500. So that is why most of you people have answered it correctly, and of course that is the correct answer. So answer is A. So we have out of 30 questions which will be asked, which can be asked in risk assessment syllabus, we have already discussed 6 questions. So now come to the risk assessment process. So what is risk assessment? अच्छा, सिंपल सी पहले ये बताओ. देख, सी, आप रिस्क असेसमेंट समझने के पहले you have already understood the risk. I have already told you regarding hazard and risk. जैसे ही रिस्क की बात है, आपके दिमाग में डॉल्फिन प्लस उसके बगल में आपका जो स्विम करने का प्रोसेस है वो आपको याद हो जाना चाहिए. Alright, when you listen this word risk, you must focus yourself that I have seen a diagram where there was one dolphin and I was swimming behind the dolphin, swimming beside the dolphin. Okay, so you have already understood the risk. Now what is assessment? Assessment क्या होता है? Assessment means जब आप किसी चीज को assess करते हो, जब आप किसी चीज को assess, क्या assess करते हो आप ये बताओ. Very easy example. Suppose your child is studying. Suppose your child is preparing for some exam. Okay, and then he gives some exam and then he gets his result. Mock exam. Suppose your child is giving class 10th exam. So before class 10 exam, there is pre-board exam, right? So after seeing the pre-board exam result, you assess the performance, you assess the preparedness of your child to pass the board exam, right? आप क्या करते हो? आपका बच्चा अगर क्लास 10th के प्री बोर्ड में एग्जाम देता है, जब आप उसका रिजल्ट आता है तो आप उस रिजल्ट को देख के असेस करते हो ना कि मेरा बेटा जो है या मेरी बेटी जो है वो क्लास 10th के बोर्ड एग्जाम में कैसे कर पाएगी, राइट? सो दैट इज असेसमेंट, कि आप किसी पार्टिकुलर रिजल्ट को देख करके किसी चीज को असेस करते हो. सो रिस्क असेसमेंट इज प्रोसेस दैट इन्वॉल्व्स मेजरमेंट ऑफ रिस्क to determine priorities and to enable identification of appropriate level of risk treatment. क्या है इसके बारे में ध्यान से फिर से पढ़ते हैं. रिस्क असेसमेंट एक ऐसा प्रोसेस है जहां पे फर्स्ट क्या करते हैं, मेजरमेंट ऑफ रिस्क, कि रिस्क कितना बड़ा है। क्यों रिस्क को मेजर करते हैं? टू डिटरमिन प्रायोरिटीज, प्रायोरिटी को डिटरमिन करने के लिए। क्यों? टू इनेबल आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ एप्रोप्रिएट लेवल ऑफ रिस्क ट्रीटमेंट। मतलब कि पूरा रिस्क असेसमेंट प्रोसेस एक ऐसा प्रोसेस है जहां पर कि हम रिस्क को मेजर करते हैं कि उस रिस्क के कोई ट्रीटमेंट के लिए, उस रिस्क के ट्रीटमेंट के लिए हमें क्या आगे के स्टेप्स को फॉलो करना है। सो दैट इज रिस्क असेसमेंट। जैसे कि आपके बोर्ड के एग्जाम को रिजल्ट, आप अपने बच्चे के बोर्ड के एग्जाम के रिजल्ट को देख करके ये डिसाइड करोगे ना कि अभी जब 1 महीना टाइम है तो किस तरीके से मेरे बेटे या बेटी को प्रिपेयर करना है। हाउ शुड माई चिल्ड्रन हाउ शुड माई चाइल्ड शुड प्रिपेयर इन दिस 1 month to get the maximum marks. Okay, so for that you have done the marks assessment of your child. So that is why here we do risk assessment. Risk assessment हम करते हैं ताकि किसी भी potential hazard से हम अपने आप को सेव कर सकें। A business impact analysis, this is a small word which has not been asked in DGMS exam till now, can be asked. Business impact analysis is process for determining the potential impacts resulting from the interruption of time sensitive or critical business process. Okay, so छोटा सा है, आप इसे याद कर लीजिए। रिस्क असेसमेंट का पूरा प्रोसेस which I'll discuss in the later part of our class. Okay, so this is the risk assessment process. I've already explained you: identify, determine, assess, action, and evaluate. Okay, so all these parts are involved in risk assessment process. Clear? Small diagram, you can read it later after the class. So these are again some very important definitions which have been provided by DGMS in the circular itself. So you can see that there are words like risk control, risk rating, and risk management. I have already given the definition of all these words. Risk control, अब देखो, आपने डेफिनेशन के ऊपर मत जाओ। जब भी एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आए तो आप उस वर्ड को ध्यान से पढ़ करके अपने लैंग्वेज में ट्राई टू थिंक इन हिंदी ओनली। आप जो समझते हैं ना उसी को समझने की कोशिश कीजिए, अंग्रेजी में समझने की कोशिश मत कीजिए। अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट। जैसे अभी जो हम रिस्क पढ़ रहे हैं, हजार्ड पढ़ रहे हैं, उसको आप अंग्रेजी में समझ लो, उसको आप सब कुछ देख लो क्या लिखा हुआ है, बट उसका माइंड मैप जो आप अपने माइंड में क्रिएट करोगे दैट शुड बी इन हिंदी। ओके, हिंदी इज आवर मदर टंग, राइट? For those people who are having Hindi as mother tongue, of course there are people who are having other languages like Tamil, Telugu, or Kannada, or English, who are compatible with English. So all those people are here. So you just, what I want to say, just try to create a mind map in your mind, and that mind map should preferably in a language in which you are comfortable, right? It is not compulsory to think, to speak, to write, to do all the things in English or Hindi or Kannada or Telugu. All right, so these are the small tricks which all the people who study, who excel in some part of life, they uses all these tricks. So what is the risk control? Risk control is implementation of strategies to prevent or control this or control hazard. See how simple is, तो कितना आसान सा डेफिनेशन है। रिस्क कंट्रोल मतलब इम्प्लीमेंट, जो स्ट्रेटजी आपने बनाई ना, उस स्ट्रेटजी का जब आप इंप्लीमेंट करोगे हजार्ड को कंट्रोल करने के लिए, दैट इज रिस्क कंट्रोल। ओके, व्हाट इज रिस्क रेटिंग? द कैटेगरी और लेवल ऑफ रिस्क असाइड फॉलोइंग रिस्क असेसमेंट। रिस्क असेसमेंट करने के बाद अब कोई रिस्क, मैंने क्या बताया था आपको कि अगर आप, इफ यू आर वॉकिंग ऑन द रॉन्ग साइड ऑफ द रोड एंड इफ यू आर वॉकिंग ऑन द मिडिल ऑफ द रोड, वेयर you are having maximum risk. Of course, when you are walking on the middle of the road, means using certain techniques we can define the कि कौन सा रिस्क बड़ा है, कौन सा रिस्क ज्यादा हार्मफुल हो सकता है, कौन सा रिस्क कम हार्मफुल हो सकता है। इस चीज को डिफाइन करने के लिए we use the word risk rating. Okay, so risk rating tells us which risk is more harmful, which risk can be more harmful and which risk can be comparatively less harmful, right? So इसके लिए हम रिस्क रेटिंग करते हैं, इसके बारे में भी पूरी चीजें हम पढ़ेंगे। What is risk management? This is the overall description of steps taken to manage risk by identifying hazards and implementing control in the workplace. See, ये सारी चीजें of course कस्टमरी है, मैं सारी चीजें आपको पीपीटी में पढ़ा रहा हूं, but ultimately आप उस डायग्राम को याद रखना. I tell you, if you remember that diagram of dolphin and then you swimming around the dolphin, that will simply solve 95% of your problem. Risk control, किसी भी risk को control करेंगे तो that will be risk control. What is risk rating? Different kind of risks are there, so we shall do risk rating. What is risk management? If some risks are there, then we have to manage it. Otherwise, we can potentially we can create some harm for others. We can create harm for us also. So that is why those risks needs to be managed. So that is called risk management. Okay, so these are the simple words which I am discussing. Okay, so this is one very important circular. I have already shared the circular in the group. So those who have joined late or those who are still not in the WhatsApp group, I request you to join this WhatsApp group where I have already shared the notes. Go in the chat box and join the WhatsApp group. See, 194 people are doing the class. Only 111 have joined the WhatsApp group. Join it, otherwise you cannot get that circular. Okay, it is as simple as that. If you have not joined, you will not get it. Or you can, if you can manage it from your friend, then it is okay. But if you can join, it will be helpful for you. Okay, so this is very important circular number 2 of 2014. Okay, so this is about personal risk assessment. Take 5, very important topic. This circular is about Take 5 personal risk assessment process. Okay, what are the important things which have been used? What is personal risk assessment? Personal risk assessment is a simple process to ensure that all work activities are given a final check. Please read this line very carefully and diligently. It is a simple process. अब पहले मैं आपको हिंदी में समझा दूं. Personal risk assessment, right? You already know what is risk. You already know what is assessment. Now one more term has been added, personal. So what is personal risk assessment? When you assess the risk for yourself, then that will be called personal risk assessment. It is as simple as that. इसमें कौन सी बड़ी चीज है ना? तो आप इस तरीके से डिफरेंट स्मॉल वर्ड्स को यूज करके किसी भी टॉपिक को बहुत इजीली से याद कर सकते हो, बहुत इजीली से समझ सकते हो. So personal risk assessment, simple language में, you already know that when you assess the risk for your own or for people who are working around you, then that is called personal risk assessment. There is one important circular regarding this, that is circular technical DGMS 2 of 2014. What is personal risk assessment? It is a simple process to ensure that all work activities are given a final check. Why? To identify and control any potential hazard that may have not already been addressed. वैसा hazard जो अभी तक address नहीं किया गया है, डे टू डे बेसिस पे आपको हजार्ड को ढूंढना होता है, उसका असेसमेंट करना होता है, उस हजार्ड से बचने के लिए आपको करेक्टिव स्टेप्स लेने होते हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाई ये जो रिस्क असेसमेंट का प्रोसेस है ना, दिस इज एन ऑनगोइंग प्रोसेस, हर दिन होता रहता है. सो टू आइडेंटिफाई एंड कंट्रोल एनी पोटेंशियल हजार्ड दैट मे हैव नॉट बीन एड्रेस्ड प्रायर टू द कमेंसमेंट ऑफ एक्टिविटी, जो अभी तक हजार्ड को एड्रेस नहीं किया गया है, उन सारे हजार्ड को भी असेस करना है. This process is being used successfully by different industries, including mining industry in many countries. These are the words which have been used by DGMS itself. So I am repeating these words कि ये process जो है बहुत ही widely accepted across the industries and across all the countries available है. Personal risk assessment process हर जगह use होता है, हर industry में use होता है, सिर्फ इंडिया में नहीं, इंडिया के बाहर भी. So Take 5 is to complement this again. Why I have highlighted these lines. क्योंकि इसका कुछ इंपॉर्टेंस है, इसके ऊपर डीजीएमएस ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, जो भी आपको मैं दिखाऊंगा. और देखो कितने स्मॉल टॉपिक से कितना और सिंपल, बस हम वही पढ़ने वाले जिससे क्वेश्चन पूछे गए, जिससे क्वेश्चन पूछे जा सकते हैं. ज्यादा कुछ पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है. Why? Because you all are working people, you don't have much time कि आपको पूरा का पूरा एक लाइन को याद करके जाना है. If you are studying for this exam line by line, everything, आपको लग रहा है कि आपको जितनी सारी चीजें मिलेगी आप सारी चीजें पढ़ के चले जाओगे, then I must tell you that you are not on a right track. You are following the wrong strategy. Your hard work, your focus should be very concentrated. क्या पूछा जाता है वही पढ़ना है, उसके अगल बगल की चीजें पढ़नी है। जो आज तक कभी नहीं पूछा गया उसके बारे में ज्यादा मेहनत करने की जरूरत नहीं है। अगर आपके पास एक्स्ट्रा टाइम है, देन आई वुड सजेस्ट यू टू go through those lines also, go through those topics also. But since you all are studying, since you all people are working professional, I am already aware कि आपको इतना ज्यादा समय डेफिनेटली नहीं मिलता होगा. So that is why कम समय और effective study यही आपको करना है. Okay, so this is the crux of this circular Take 5 personal risk assessment process. Number one, it is simple process to ensure that all work activities are given a final check. Last line, it is to complement the risk assessment process but does not replace it. ये risk assessment process को complement करता है लेकिन उसको replace नहीं करता है. All right, so this is the Take 5 process. These are the 5 things which have been used. I have already written here also. So see, मैंने ना एक छोटा सा, I have used a small word stick, STICC. इस स्टिक से ना ये जो आपका स्टिक होता है ना, ये मैजिक वाला स्टिक, कुछ भी एक स्टिक के बारे में दिमाग लगाओ. और टेक 5, जब भी आपके दिमाग में टेक 5 आए ना, तो आप एक स्टिक को याद करना. क्यों आप स्टिक को याद करना? STICK is stick, but I have used STICC. Why? There are some reason. Stop, step back, observe. Start with S. Think through the task. T. Identify any hazard. I. Control the hazard. C. Complete the task. C. So what is this? STICC, right? So that is why I have used here stick. So when in your mind, when you listen about this word Take 5, from today onwards, जब भी आप टेक 5 वर्ड को सुनना, आप अपने दिमाग में ना एक स्टिक लेके आना. कोई सा भी स्टिक ला सकते हो. मैंने मैजिक स्टिक बनाया था, तो आप अपने दिमाग में मैजिक स्टिक ला सकते हो. Why? Because if you remember STICC, then you will remember all these 5 steps which are involved in the process of Take 5. Okay, let me explain all these 5 words. Number 1, stop, step back and observe. So it is about observe the work area and surrounding location for hazards. So these are the steps involved in personal risk assessment. Why? Because we are studying personal risk assessment. There is one circular regarding this. That circular is regarding Take 5. So what is Take 5? These are the 5 steps which are involved in Take 5 process. What are those 5 steps? Stick, STICC. What is the full form? Stick, stop, step back and observe. Okay. Number 2 is think through the task. Consider the sequence of steps involved in carrying out the task from start to finish. वो task कब से start होके कहाँ तक जाएगा? इतना देखो, ये completely आपसे नहीं पूछा जाएगा, but still I suggest you कि you should read the slide. You should, आप जितना याद कर सकते हो याद कर लेना, but ये word जरूर याद रखना. Why? What DGMS will do? You know, DGMS ना इन 5 के अलावा कोई छठा लाइन लिख देगी. Question पूछेगी, which of the following is not a part of Take 5 process? So अगर सिर्फ आपने इन पूरे प्रोसेस के बजाय STICC भी याद कर रखा है, तो डेफिनेटली अगर मान लो कोई चीज है ना वो डी से स्टार्ट हो रहा है, तो आप बोलोगे ना ये डी नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि डी वर्ड था ही नहीं, STICC था, right? So that is why I'm telling you, you have to make small mnemonics. These are called mnemonics. Okay, so mnemonic increases your memory power. So these are the 5 steps. Stop, step back, observe, think through the task. Number 3 is identify any hazard. Identify the hazard associated with the task, including any present in the immediate and surrounding work area and hazard generated by task. Number 4 is control the hazards. If the hazard is not controlled and the work area are not safe, do not start work. Report to your supervisor officer to review the risk assessment. Okay, so कुछ भी question DGMS may ask one question from where that if hazards are not controlled, then what should you do? Number 1, you should report it to DGMS. Number 2, you should report it to IBM. Number 3, you should report it to supervisor, and all those options may be created. So what will be the answer? If hazards are not controlled, then you should not start the work and you should immediately report to the supervisor officer, your superior officer. Okay, then final is complete the task. Once all control measures have been safely implemented, commence the task and complete the task. Okay, so these are the 5 steps involved in the Take 5 process. Do not miss this word STICC, which tells you about all the 5 steps which are involved in the Take 5 process. Okay, as simple as that. So this is the question number 5 which have been asked in the DGMS exam. Sorry, question number 7. The Tech 5 process introduced through DGMS circular number 2 of 2014 is just like risk assessment followed for mining activities that are ancillary to mining operations, a replacement to risk assessment, not a replacement to risk assessment. This is a Japanese process for improvement of productivity, a replacement to safety management system. All those who have still not joined the WhatsApp group, please join it, because I shall share all these circulars in those group only. Okay, so you have started answering A, B, C, A, B, E. Okay, so a lot of variable options are there. But anyways, you all should try. I should get 180 answers in this chat box. आप गलत आंसर कीजिए, सही आंसर कीजिए, doesn't matter at all. आपने जब एक बार क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर लिया और इस क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर देख लिया ना, तो अगली बार ये गलत नहीं करोगे. एंड बिलीव मी, वी हैव डिस्कस 7 क्वेश्चंस अभी तक. 2 क्वेश्चन तो डेफिनेटली आपके पेपर में आने वाले हैं, 2-3 तो डेफिनेटली आने वाले हैं. 100% आप मुझसे लिखवा के लेना. Okay, so you have already finished, but still some people are answering. Let's see, what is the answer? Answer is C. अभी मैंने आपको लास्ट टाइम बताया था ना, you go there, और मैंने बोला था, I have already told you that these are very 2 important lines. Take 5 is to complement the risk assessment process, but does not replace it. उसको replace नहीं करता है. Clear? So ये था. अब this is one small diagram which I have created, means I have taken from somewhere. Step 1, STICC. Okay, I've already told you regarding STICC. So these are the 5 words which are used in Tech 5 process. All right, answer is C. Now this is the question number 8 which have been asked in the exam. Personal risk assessment procedure advised through circular number 2 of 2014 is to ensure that these are the options. Person should learn about risk management or risk assessment. All work activities are given a final check to identify and control any potential hazard that may not have already been addressed. Checks after the work is complete whether all the measures used for control of hazard are taken up or not. Persons learn about safety management system. None of the options. Vibhuti have answered C. Why? Everyone is answering B. कोई गलत करेगा तो मैं भी बताऊंगा. B, right. Subham answered B. Rajsekhar answered B. Harshjeet Pawar answered B. Amitabh Nandan B. Right. Well done. Arindam Mitra B. Rupeshwar Kumar C. Why you have answered C? Then Mujahid Pasa B. Naam. Okay. Ajit Kumar Chaudhary B. Jeevan Dharma B. Right. You are answering. Great thing to see. Well done. Answer is of course B. And for that, I can go back to the slide. See what I have written here. To identify and control any potential hazard that may have not already been addressed. Direct DGMS ने direct line उठा रखी है. Exact word to word line को उठाया, एक question बना दिया, और वो question आप लोग के लिए difficult, बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए first time कितना difficult हो गया होगा. But of course answer is B. And you have already seen that ये word direct लिखा हुआ है ना? Okay. So this is regarding Tech 5 card. पता भी नहीं चला. We have already finished 1 hour. Anyway, so Tech 5 card, regarding Tech 5 card, we shall study in the next class. Okay, this is again a small announcement that I shall be teaching. This is fast track small course of 25 interactive live classes, 10 mock class. Like अपने questions को mock करेंगे, doubt का mentorship session, mock test आपको test series मिलता ही है. Okay, so this is 5 fast track course CMR MMR सिर्फ legislation के लिए, only for legislation. Okay, I shall be teaching you. Okay, so you can inquire about this on this number 9971114020. For I've already given the WhatsApp group in the link in the chat box. So जिन्होंने WhatsApp group ज्वाइन कर लिया है उनको मैं अभी शेयर कर देता हूँ. एंड थैंक यू फॉर द क्लास. 1 घंटे इतनी जल्दी खत्म हो गया, पता भी नहीं चला. ठीक है, ओके. फ्री क्लास है, ज्यादा समय नहीं दे सकते क्योंकि तब सब्सक्राइब यूजर्स बोलते हैं. ओके, ऑलराइट. तो फिर से मैं चैट बॉक्स में लिंक डाल दे रहा हूँ व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप का. हाँ, एक क्वेश्चन था जो मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा. हाँ, वीडियो विल बी शेयर्ड ऑन यूट्यूब. आई विल शेयर द लिंक. हाउ टू कीप योरसेल्फ मोटिवेटेड व्हाइल स्टडीइंग फॉर द डीजीएमएस एग्जाम. सी, पहला मोटिवेशन तो यही है कि अगर आप फर्स्ट क्लास मैनेजर या सेकंड क्लास मैनेजर बनते हैं तो आपकी एक माइंड के अंदर अलग पहचान बन जाती है. यू गेट अ डिफरेंट रिकॉग्निशन व्हेन यू क्वालिफाई योर फर्स्ट क्लास एग्जाम. लाइक आपको पता होता है कि देयर आर सम पीपल हु हैव क्वालिफाइड फर्स्ट क्लास एग्जाम. कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो बोलते हैं कि अरे उसका फर्स्ट क्लास नहीं हुआ है, और कुछ लोग ऐसे वो बोलते हैं कि उसका फर्स्ट क्लास हो गया है. सो इट इज अ मैटर ऑफ प्राइड. क्वालिफाइंग दिस एग्जाम इज अ मैटर ऑफ प्राइड फॉर यू. ओके, सो इससे बड़ा मोटिवेशन तो कुछ हो नहीं सकता. नंबर 2, कितने दिन पढ़ने हैं आपको? जस्ट 3 मंथ्स. कितने घंटे पढ़ने दिन के? 1-2 घंटे मैक्सिमम. तो क्या दिन के 2 घंटे एक ऐसा एग्जाम जो कि लाइफ चेंजिंग एग्जाम हो सकता है आपके लिए, क्या आप उसके लिए प्रिपेयर नहीं कर सकते? कर सकते हैं, बशर्ते आपके मोटिवेशन के लिए क्या है, यू शुड फॉलो द राइट ट्रैक. आपको सही सही चीजें जो पूछी जाती है बस उतना ही पढ़ना है. अगर आपने इतना करना स्टार्ट कर दिया ना, देन definitely you will be very motivated because this is the matter of only 3 months, 2 hours a day. Just 3 months, 2 hours a day. प्लीज इतने समय के लिए तो अपने आप को कोई भी मोटिवेटेड रख सकता है, क्योंकि आपको पता है जब आप क्वालिफाई कर लोगे फर्स्ट क्लास मैनेजर, सेकंड क्लास मैनेजर, एक डिफरेंट पहचान होती है. ऑल दीज पीपल आर हैविंग अ डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ ग्रुप, मींस डिफरेंट रिकॉग्निशन. सोशल रिकॉग्निशन की बात करें या फाइनेंशियल रिकॉग्निशन की बात करें, so this is an important milestone in your life as a mining professional. So you should definitely clear it, and you should clear it in this year only. 2023 में नहीं जाना है, 2022 में ही कंप्लीट करना है. Alright, thank you, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I will share all those PDFs and this PPT also in that group. If you have still not joined the group, I cannot help you. If you want to join, you can join. If you don't want to join, I cannot force you. Thanks a lot, everyone, to be here. Thanks a lot. I enjoyed the class. I think you also enjoyed the class. Thank you. So I'm closing the class. Okay. Thanks a lot.